Okay, this is Tony for Paranormal Investigation UK, dates 29th September 2021. I'm continuing with some audio analysis for a case. This particular property has been showing quite extreme levels of phenomena, and we're just testing out two things. One, the acoustics of the building, together with if there is any infrasounds that could cause some of the symptoms that's been experienced. And the other one is anything generally we could find within the audio on an accidental capture. So the client itself has gone through each particular room and find out if there's, by just leaving the recorder around, we come along, analyse it, see if there's anything in there that may surprise us. But the general idea behind this is just really just to rule in or rule out any form of infrasound or any other particular frequency, even ultrasound, I suppose. That would be unlikely to be seen, but you never know. So let's see where this will take us. I'll just start that. If I do need to speak again, I will just stop. It looks like there's quite a lot of chatter. Certainly at the beginning, anyway. Yeah. Okay, there's quite a bit of chatter. If need be, I will flick forward to get past that. You're not going to analyse anything. If there's some vocal householders in there, so.
Hi Tony, so this is in one of the most active blood involved in that, whether that makes a difference. I'm just going to sit here for a minute quietly. If you hear any noise, crying, that is Aoife, she's just been put to bed. Okay.
Some sound there.
You may hear some voices that are outside. What I'm just going to do is I'm just going to shut the window.
Right, what Kelly's done there, critical. I could hear something. She's what they call tagging. Tag the audio to say that was people outside. Perfect. Otherwise it would just send you on a bit of a wild goose chase. So well done, Kelly, on that one.
Window, so hopefully that gets rid of it for you. That's me just closing it again.
Okay, looks like the movement stopped. Let's expand that. If any audio like there now.
I'm just drinking a cup of tea at the same time. Sorry, I don't get a break in this house. Put my phone down. I'm going to leave the room now and see whether that makes any difference. I'll obviously let you know when I re-enter the room.
Okay, she's going to leave the room. Movement going downstairs. Excellent. I certainly haven't amplified the audio in any way. It's how it is. Okay, it's steadily start to amplify now. They do sound relatively close. I'm just going to loop this section. Yeah, there seems to be 4 particular sections of sound there. The problem is I'm beginning to amplify it quite high. People often don't realise just how far sound can travel. So when Kelly's mentioned about leaving the room, does that mean just going into another room close by, or does it mean going downstairs? Because it certainly bangs and knocks, and for anyone that does audio experiments where you're looking to record the background, it's incredibly difficult if you're close by to eliminate any natural or rational sound sources. So I'm sat here confused, not knowing what it is that I'm actually listening to. So there are 4 sounds that did jump out on this bit. Noise there, and then there seems to be a voice there. It could even be outside. So what we'll do, we'll leave that little section. When you're analysing audio, if you find you're getting vast amounts, which obviously we'll amplify it there so we can hear it, you're getting this background. Now, this is background feedback, which is obviously going to happen when you amplify fresh air, really. So keep backing it down until this background noise disappears, and then what you have is this frequency here, and that is human frequency. It's some distance away. So if we go back to, let me just put a marker there, call it 1, just so I know where I can go to. If we go back to where Kelly's actually talking, let's find a section here somewhere. I'm just going to turn the volume down. That looks a bit better.
To leave the room now and see whether that makes any difference. I'll obviously.
Okay, I'm just going to average that so you can actually see for yourself.
Room now and see whether that makes any difference. I'll obviously let you know when I re-enter the room.
You've got various frequencies, you've got the fundamental frequencies. What you're looking for is the peaks. It's where she sat, sounds reflecting back off doors and anything shiny. So normally, when you're interested in human frequency, is these here. Now that bass frequency is highly suggested that she's quite close to the microphone source when she's spoken. So we get one there. What's that? Just knocks and bangs, is it? Yeah. It's even closer there.
Examination light, but they are all turned off currently.
Okay, so you can see how all the frequencies lifted, and there's this massive spread of frequency because it's quite high in volume. Let's try this one again. Just clear that.
I'll obviously let you know when I re-enter the room.
Okay, so there's your frequency, even frequency. Now if we go back to where it was before, when we were 2 minutes, there we go. That's that one there. Let's just leave that one again. Probably looked too much there, but never mind. So you can see the frequency involved with when Kelly's quite close up. So we're now going to be obviously reviewing something which is some distance away, and you'll see how this changes. Just turn that volume up. that's what we're interested in. As we're finding it very difficult to get rid of the actual background feedback that's occurring. You can actually hear it over the headphones, there's like hissing sound that you get. There. So what you'll notice is the 3 peaks between 500 and 1000 hertz, which is very similar to what we had when Kelly was quite close up to the microphone source. This is just really, the more audio you analyse, the more adapt you get to knowing where to look. So if we know that the human frequency, it sounds human, we can be fairly certain that this 500, these 3 peaks here, are human frequency. The fundamental one is about 800, maybe around about 750, 800 hertz. That's certainly human, but it's quite low. So what on this particular one, what I'm going to be doing is asking Kelly again to go back and to list them. So what I'll actually do is I'm going to keep a separate list and name them, because I've actually put a marker there called 1. So when I go back to Kelly and say, look, you go listen to this audio and you tell me what these numbers are, 1, next one's going to be 2, and so on and so forth. She can actually say what it is, or she has an idea what it is. I'm a little bit suspicious of this because I'm experienced to know that this frequency is quite some distance away. Yeah, it's certainly not in the room anyway, that's for certain. It could be outside, because if turning it down you could hardly hear it. In fact, it's so quiet that the analyzer itself isn't picking it up. So, take that off loop, turn it back up, and we go on to the next one. That's a door closing, or maybe a cabinet, very hollow sounding. I've heard that before. Again, does no harm when you're first analysing audio. Go through it. That's a baby. Okay. There's the sound of the cabinet. There's the baby there. The more you listen to, the more adapt you get. That sounds like... Okay, this is how you can very easily get caught out with sounds. That sounded initially like a slight dog bark at distance. Let's have a listen to that. Sounds like a dog bark. Yet the frequency tells us that it's human spectrum. Right, so it jumps straight up. Dogs is going to be 2,500 to 3,000 hertz. I know that I've analysed them before. So again, the more audio you look at, the more adapt you'll begin to be of knowing. We're not interested in absolute mathematical down to the 0.05s. What we're interested in is the fundamental frequencies. If it's animal, it's going to be different than human. So we can basically say, despite it sounding like a dog yapping, it's human's origin. Okay. Let's get rid of that background hiss. Yeah, this is... You're getting no trace on the recording line of the audio, so it's quite some distance away. Like there now. Turn it down there, you're not going to hear it. No, can't hear it. So, what this will tell us is, if we turn the volume up, we're going to hear something. When the volume's down to normal, don't hear anything there at all. It's so far away. Maybe doors close, that type of thing. So, if something is within the room, which is the main reason the recorder was left here, it's going to jump straight out. It's going to be much louder than everything else that's in the background, so we can then begin to exclude it. So, we'll turn that back up. So you can hear it now. We haven't got any frequency in the actual analyzer. This is bass thumping. Turn that back down. Yeah, it's not, the analyzer again is not picking it up. So that's got to be some distance away. It is incredibly difficult when you're in any building to be silent, because rest assured, the equipment and software that we use, if there's sound in there, we'll normally find it. You might think you're not making sound, but you in fact are. So I've turned it back up now. We'll just go through the rest of it. That one there, that's an interesting one. That is what I'm interested in. Not quite. Okay, the reason why I'm just saying spend a few minutes just looking at this frequency. It's just thousands straight up. That at the moment we've got a case going on at Chester where it's literally hundreds of raps are being experienced, and there's this very specific, almost tower shape of 1000 hertz frequency which is there. And what we're discovering when we start looking to other cases, not similar, but cases experiencing phenomena, we're finding this big streak of 1000 hertz, but I can't hear it. It's a bit on the low side. So it's something I've just been accustomed to because, like I said, the more audio you analyse, the more adapt you get to dealing with it. So that's a particular one that's always been of great interest. Once I spot that, I'm always going to spend some time with it. But there's too much noise going on between and after for me to be certain that we are dealing with a Pacific rap. So, right, okay, so unfortunately I'm just going to have to, unless I can turn that up a bit more. Just see it there. Yeah. There it is. No side frequency at all, just like a straightforward, I call a chimney, rather than looking at a pyramid, which is what you normally get with sound. Quite unusual and quite unique to one particular type of phenomena. Could be wrong, it's quite some distance away. Yeah. Okay. I need to ignore that one. It's there. I've noted it, so. Okay, let's move on. There's a baby crying. There we go, bit of a thump there. Somebody up the stairs or. Yeah. You know, the bangs of the doors. Someone coming up the stairs or walking.
Okay, I've just re-entered the room again. I'm just going to sit just quietly for for a minute or so, just so you can see whether the activity changes when I come back in the room. That's just me moving to the farthest point in the room by the fridge. I'm just going to take that bass frequency out, clean the sound up. It's disappeared. Just allows me then just to lift the volume up a little bit more.
Okay. It seems to be, it's this 500 to 1,000 hertz again. I'm pretty confident it's like human in origin, but I'm actually going to note that as 2. Okay, so Kelly can, when she looks at this, she can look at that one. We'll call that 2. Those that you're fairly confident about, you know what's what. You don't really have to go through every single one of them. It's just the ones that you're not sure of. Even that one, number 2, I think Kelly's going to have problems. Actually saying what that could be. It's some distance away, but anyway. I've dropped the frequency down here just really to get rid of that background noise. It was just causing the analyzer to freak out. Once you've finished with that, always go back flat again, because if we are seeking infrasound, the last thing we're going to do is be taking all the frequency out of it. So put it back to flat. And generally what I always just use this for is just to amplify it. I prefer that than using an actual amplifier and increasing the gain signal that way. I think just generally just by lifting the volume up using EQ is a more sensible way of doing this sort of analysis. So okay, turn that off. Right, I'll turn the volume back up again. Let's see how we go. You can actually hear movement. Yeah, this is doom doom. How it thuds through carpet onto the floor, and the vibration of the sound as travels, and the microphone picks it up. Mobile phones these days are incredibly sensitive. Some have multiple microphones, up to 7 I believe, on the later iPhones. So certainly a microphone doesn't have selective hearing. It'll record everything. Now when you hear that, it actually sounds like a firework. Yeah, a lot of decay. Explosion type of quite a spread of frequency as well. What on earth that is? We'll call that 3. I'm more interested in what that could be. Because one of the things I often do is once I know what something is and I've got a sample such as this, I'll save it, put it in a folder, and I can use it later if I hear something similar when I actually know what that sound could be. Okay. Bit of movement again. Sounds like a car driving away. That's human. Yeah.
That's me just switching off the plug and my tummy rumbling. switching off the plug and my tummy rumbling.
That actually sounds like Let's Go. That sounds like Let's Go. Yeah, it does sound like Let's Go. Let's just clear the pipes a second. Turn the volume down a bit, see if we get a stronger fix on there. Just going to get rid of this. That's just byproduct of the background. So we can see there, I mentioned earlier about the 500,000 hertz, that's human spectrum. And what I'm interested in this is that Kelly obviously talks here.
That's me just switching off the plug and my tummy rumbling.
As she says, Telly is a tummy rumbling.
And my tummy rumbling.
Yeah, tummy rumbling. So on about 11 seconds there, she completes the sentence. There doesn't seem to be any movement where she's moving away. Then we get this let go there, which is there. It's about 17, 6, 17. So it's 7 seconds from Kelly actually finishing a statement to what sounds like a voice saying, let's go. So, question to you, Kelly. This one will be number 4. Number 4, do you know what this is? I'm pretty confident it's not you. Let's go. Yeah, or something similar. It's 2 syllables anyway. Let's go. 1, 2. Let's go. 1, 2. Okay, that's number 4, Kelly. Let me know what you think that is. Certainly not your tummy rumbling, that's for certain.
I'm just walking over to shut the door to see whether that makes any difference. That's the door closing.
Yeah, you can hear the movement there. With this type of recording device, which is your mobile phone, there's no settings you can make to record less background. A weird one. You see the frequency just rolling over there. Don't know what that is. We'll call that number 5, Callie, if you can get any idea what that is. Strange, it's like female. But, no idea.
That's noise coming from my neighbour's house, I think. I'm just walking over to the phone to stop recording now.
Okay. So she never moved out of the room. So we have got that voice earlier, which is number 4, where Kelly speaks 7 seconds later exactly. Sounds like a male voice. It's some distance away though, saying "Let's go, let's go." It's outside. Unlikely. It sounds a little bit closer than that. So, okay, that's new recording number 4. So ending this analysis, get that loaded up, and wait for the feedback from Kelly.